All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Look at you. You made it. It's another episode of We Did That Shit podcast, where we talk about who did some shit, what we learned from shit, and how we got through some shit.
I'm Maya.
And I'm the B. We appreciate you, podcast family, and we hope your week was the shit. If this is your first time listening, welcome, and thank you for checking us out. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and follow us on all social media sites at We Did That Shit.
Hey.
What's up, Maya?
Hey, girl.
¿Qué pasó, mami?
I have nothing. I have nothing after. I think that's how you doing, right?
I think that's how you doing. That's how you doing with your little cornrows.
I'm doing it up.
You are.
I had to do something to my daggone hair because I'm still on this workout journey. So even though the weather is getting ready to change, I'm just like, I gotta rock the braids for a little minute. But I gotta be careful because you know edges is the key to life, honey. You got edges, your life is in shambles, as you would say.
They say don't add to the Bible, but I'm just gonna say guard your heart and your edges.
For real. So
at all costs.
What's going on? How was your week?
You know what? My week was the shit.
Oh.
Even though we had
whoop whoop.
I know. Even though we had other stuff going on, you know, family wise, we was going through some things, and you know, we lost an aunt this week.
Yes, we did.
And but you know, I'm glad that her, you know, that phase of is over.
Yeah, her suffering.
She can finally, yeah. And but besides those family things, and it's always easier because we have each other. You know, I think my biggest stressor was work, and I'm telling you, I really worked to change my attitude.
Good. You the shit.
You know what I mean? And I walk in there like that. You know? I do. Remember,
you had that little Duval playing in your ear.
Smile, bitch.
Yeah.
Smile, bitch. And I mean, that's the attitude I walked in with, and it was a good week. So good. I'm really happy about that. How was your week?
I can't report. My week was the shit. I can't report that. My week was stressful, but you know, we woke up every day, so that was the shit. And I was sitting here laughing at last week, trying to get my spirits up, you know, at our recording process last week.
Right. Our studio was under renovation.
Our studio was crazy. So, listen, long story short of it, we recorded at my mother's house. And we told my mom, like, yo, we recording. She was like, oh, okay, cool. No problem. We like, so you know, chill. Cool. As soon as we said, and 5, 4, here she come. You got that Giovanni's menu. So I'm trying to get a pizza. So
let me tell you about that pizza. It got
So we stopped. Then we hit record again. She goes outside because she talking on the phone. Oh, I can't go outside. Yo, lady, chill. Then we hit record again.
It's not even the fact that we holding her hostage, but she go outside and clickety clacking the sliding doors and carrying on like so funny.
Then we press record again. Here she go turning the TV on. Our heads whipped around like, yo, she like, oh, now I can't watch TV. So just thinking about that made me laugh today. And so it gave me like a little energy, and now we back recording a new episode without
Oh
the
my
interruptions.
goodness. Without the interruptions. I mean,
So the week was cool.
Yeah, I hung out with her yesterday. That's my girl.
Mm-hmm. So who did some shit this week?
I want to talk about the Katt Williams interview with Frank and Wanda.
Oh, okay.
And the so-called shade that he threw at Tiffany Haddish. And I wasn't at the show, but at the show in Atlanta, they said he really kind of went in on Kevin Hart. I didn't hear any of that. I don't know what it is, but Kevin Hart did have a response. I didn't read the response because I didn't hear what he said about Kevin Hart, but I did hear what he said on the Frank and Wanda show. I listened to that. And first of all, I just want to say that to me, I don't really think he was being shady per se to Tiffany Haddish. He was just saying what happens in comedy. This is what happens. You don't know a Tiffany Haddish joke because she's never done a special, this and that,
but
whatever.
She has done a special.
I did see her special when she said she was a unicorn,
right,
and all that stuff. I did, but I do not have a favorite Tiffany Haddish joke.
Right.
I just don't think that Katt Williams was being shady toward Tiffany Haddish, and it just doesn't, I'm not saying whether I'm a fan or not. I think Issa Rae said it best. I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for everybody black. You know what I mean? And that's just how I am. Make the money while the money is out there to be made. Same thing with Kevin Hart. I mean, Kevin Hart's face is on everything, but make the money while the money's out there to be made. I'm not mad at anybody. We've talked about it before, how we weren't great big fans of Gabrielle Union before the book. But we still supported her projects. You know what I mean? Because we rooting for everybody black. So first of all, I just think that what he was saying wasn't shade. I think it was more of an education for people who did not know. But I really think that Wanda went way left.
I think so too.
Back and forth bullshit. I was like, why are you bantering with a comedian?
And thinking that a comedian, here's the thing. Let me just address the Tiffany Haddish thing. I agree with you. I don't think that Katt Williams was being shady. However, Tiffany Haddish does have a special, and I if I'm not mistaken, she has a smaller special, and then she did that bigger one on Showtime, and that just came out, I think, last year or whatever. The thing about Tiffany Haddish is that she is like a breakout star,
Right.
And so in anything, I think where it's dealing with black people, it seems like it can only be one. Now you have a Kevin Hart, it's only one. When you had Eddie Murphy, it was only one. So I think that now with Tiffany Haddish, she's on that breakout. Oh, it can only be one, and now she's everywhere. I mean, she is a star. And she is funny, but I don't think what Katt Williams was saying was she's not funny in the stand-up comedian type of way. She's funny in the I made a role for you and you can bring forth the role in a funny way type of way. Where he's saying, and I think that comics like Katt Williams that are specifically stand-up comedians, they think that way. If you can't stand in front of a damn audience with a microphone with an hour worth of material, then I don't think that you funny, or like they say Kevin Hart, he has writers who write his jokes for him. Now Kevin Hart has funny moments. Do I think that Kevin Hart is the funniest damn comedian? Is he a Rob Stapleton? No.
No.
Is he a talent? No. But is he a good comedian? Sure he is. He's good in the lane that he's in. What people need to realize though is you can't say something to everybody who got something to say against you. If you feel like I'm a star, I'm the shit, I'm doing what I'm doing, you did that shit, then do it and let it be that.
Right.
Now, when it comes down to the Wanda thing, Wanda was doing too much. That whole interview
Doing
was
too much.
uneasy. You know what I'm saying? Cat
Right.
Williams was doing what Cat Williams does, right? He had
Exactly.
that serious face, you know, he had that tone
Right.
that made you feel like, no, he coming at me a different kind of way.
Right.
Even the way that her co-host reacted, he ain't say shit. He just was laughing.
Right. He was laughing. It was funny.
Because I think he was like, oh, okay, this is a joke. She was even mad at him because of the way that he didn't respond or that he didn't stand up for her. But it was like, well, what the hell was he supposed to stand up for? Hey, don't talk about her. You know the environment that you're in and you know the guests that you have. So some things you kind of gotta expect.
Right. And he's a comedian and it was funny. And I think, first of all, who banters with a comedian? Like, who does that?
People who think that they can banter with a comedian, who think, and especially somebody who feels like, oh, well, you on my platform. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she looked like a goof troop. And then you hear that Katt Williams reported that her husband approached him.
It's a video.
Oh, did he really do it?
Yeah, it's a video of him approaching Katt Williams.
I knew. Well, did he pull out a gun? Because they said he had a gun or something. He threatened him or something.
It doesn't show that on the video, but it does show them having like words outside of a door, and then it shows him going toward Katt Williams, like kind of Katt Williams. You know, he a little person,
right?
They. And I don't mean a little person in that way, but I'm saying he's short. You know what I'm saying? He's small. Right. So they ushered, his security was kind of like ushering him out the way. And then the husband was like going after him. Now, what happened when they got off that camera, if he pulled the gun, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I could have made the gun up. I'm not sure, but I know
you didn't. They said that that's what it was.
Okay.
We just
I didn't make it up. I did. Okay. You hear so much. All the stuff is just a blur. But anyway, you look stupid. Your wife looked dumb. Hey, that I just, wanted to mention that.
And
who else did some shit?
I'm going to say who else did some shit, but let me say this. Women, you got to know the type of stuff you bring to your man. You know what I'm saying? Like, your man could listen to it on his own. He heard the interview, whatever.
He could have heard it like anybody else.
Yeah, he probably did. But it ain't. You can't sit here and tell me that his wife ain't go home and make it more than what it was. You know what I'm saying? It's like if a dude say something to you on the street, he like, yo, you got a fat ass, and then you go home and you like, this ninja said blah blah blah. When you don't have to do that, because you got to know what type of dude you dealing with. If you know you dealing with the type of dude who gonna approach another man based off of whatever, you got to bring it to him in a different kind of way. So, just remember that, because that's what I think happened with them, and which prompted her husband to react in the way that he reacted. For sure. You know what I'm saying? And now you got a whole situation that your husband is in. And if it's a gun involved, then it's a whole nother thing for something that wasn't even that. And that's the point. But let's say, who else did some shit? Well, I needed to talk about Kanye West this week. Kanye West, I see you. I see what you're doing. Now you on this whole, let me get black people back on my side. I'm in Chicago. I done went back and got the Chicago homies. I'm buying a home in Chicago. I'm releasing a new album with Chance. And Chance got the people, Chance the rapper. I see you, Kanye. And I want to just say, I don't give two shits if you coming back to Chicago, if you trying to get back in your roots. I don't care about none of that. You're still out. You're out. You don't sit next to a person like the president that we have right now, wear a MAGA hat, tell us that slavery was a choice, and now you go eat some Harold's chicken and we supposed to open you back with open arms like, yeah, oh, Kanye, you are back with us. It's all about you. No. Yeah. Hell no.
Absolutely not.
And people who do things like that, think about what it is that you're doing. You can't expect the community to be after you, for you, when you were against them. And we told you time and time again, you either with us or you against us, and that's just what it is.
That's right. And remember, from the whole Nike situation, we have the power.
Yes, we do.
We have the power. So let's just use the power.
Yeah, so I just needed to mention that. I see employees and they ain't working. The goodbye. Uh, lastly, lastly, this whole, I know that we try to stay away from politics on the podcast, and I know that we try to not talk about this 45, but this Supreme Court justice thing that's heating up with him trying to get confirmed, this Judge Kavanaugh, and now you have a woman coming forward and saying that she was sexually abused by him, and it happened when he was 17, and then you have all of these white privileged males, which he is a white privileged male, going on TV and saying stuff like, oh, should you be condemned for something that you did at 17? Yes, you should.
Because they condemn black people for what they did at 13.
They condemning us for what we ain't do. You know what I'm saying? Not alone for what you did do. A cop literally murdered a man, and you have the senator or the governor or whatever he is of Texas saying, oh, he found himself murdered in his home. He found himself murdered. Ted Cruz said that out of his mouth. He found himself murdered in his own home. What the hell is that? And now you have and now you're saying that we shouldn't condemn this man for something that he did at 17. Bill Cosby allegedly raped women 30 years ago, and here they are, condemning him.
Exactly.
He's going to jail. I don't want a person who has anything in their past to be able to govern laws for the people for the rest of their natural life. If you're appointed to this highest position in the Supreme Court, you can make laws for people for your whole damn life. For our whole life. And you talking about something that you did at 17, whether you thought that you was going to be a judge at 17 or not, you won now. And you're trying to get to the highest court. Yes, should be condemned about it. And then the woman who has come forth, what the hell does she have to gain by coming forth? It's not like she has anything to gain. She's a PhD. She's a professor. She don't have nothing to gain. People are condemning her. Like, I can't believe you came out and spoke about something. And why did you wait so long? It doesn't matter how long she waited. The simple fact is that it happened. Which is why a lot of women who are violated, they don't say anything, because when they come out, they become the victims again and again and again. And that's why people don't come out and say, this happened to me, that happened to me. And another thing about this Kavanaugh appointment, before he was a prospect for this appointment, they knew his past. Yes.
They knew his past, and they was probably like, you know what? It'll never come out. We'll keep it covered. Don't even worry about it. And now look at you.
And that's not
if this stuff still goes through, if this stuff still goes through, like this, I don't know what else you need to see, to witness, to see what kind of state this country is in. But,
well, if that goes through, it just goes to show that everything that we think about this country and the way that people are treated in this country that aren't white privileged people is true. And it is. Right. So, we don't got to have this to know that that's right. But, I think that, condemn his ass. Talk about it every chance that you get. Every chance that you get. And that ain't even going against his racist emails, his racist past. That has nothing to do with nothing. Now, you done raped a white woman. You done had sexual misconduct against a white woman. Y'all ain't even trying to protect your lily ass white women? Come on. Come on. But anyway, I just needed to mention that, and we'll still try our best to stay away from politics, but they come up from time to time. So what else is going on?
Well, I got some other shit on my mind.
What else you got?
So, we had said before that we have a whole list of topics, things that we're going to get into. And this really speaks to one of the topics that we said we were going to get into. But I have another strawberry letter that I want to read.
Mm.
I don't remember the date. It was last week sometime. So a couple days ago, last week, I don't know. It's all a blur. But it was more recent than the one we talked about in the previous podcast.
Okay.
So I don't even know why this is a strawberry letter. But listen to this shit.
Okay.
I'm a 49-year-old female married to a 49-year-old man. I have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. Here's the problem. My current husband is not the father of my children. I married this man when my children were young, so he's been in their lives for a very long time. My youngest son just graduated from high school and will be going away for college. So now my husband thinks that we are done raising children from now on. It will be just the 2 of us. He has said that we don't have to worry about the kids anymore because they're all grown and have their own lives. So am I supposed to not be involved with my children since they are no longer living at home? My children range from age 32 to 18 years old, and all 5 of them live in different states. I want to see them and my grandkids as often as I can. In fact, I'd like to move closer to them. My husband does not want anything to do with them, period. He doesn't want to visit them, and he doesn't want them to visit us. He said that they don't need to come for holidays. What the hell? He really thinks that because they are adults, I'm supposed to forget that they exist. I understand that these are our golden years, and we should be enjoying quality time together and traveling the world. But our travels should also include trips to see my children. If he's really serious, I may have to spend my golden years alone. Steve and Shirley, can you please help me?
What did this lady write this letter for?
First, that was my first thought. Why is this even a strawberry letter? And then my second thought, my thought and a half, because this is not even like my second thought. My thought and a half was, I need to know what she didn't write in this letter.
Exactly.
Because this shit doesn't make any sense, like at all.
If a person is in your life since your children was young,
since your children were young,
then that means that they had a hand in raising your kids. It was no indication throughout all of these years that you have been with this man that he said, when your kids get old, I'm done with their asses. Because this didn't just happen. He wasn't like, oh, you 18. Okay, you waiting for that countdown. All right, Tuesday, he turning 18. And then Tuesday, you was like, so you don't have no kids? Oh, it's just me and you. That didn't happen. He's been showing you signs all along. Now, here's the thing. It was funny that we came up with this, that we started talking about this, because earlier I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me, which is this crazy, it added all into this. He was telling me that he got into it with his mother last night, right? And so I'm like, oh, what you get into it with your mom for? And he's telling me about her man. Her man be spending up all her money, blah, blah, blah. And then she calls him for money. And so he's like telling me how his mom kicked him out when he was 18. Like basically, at the 12:01, when he turned 18, his mom was like, well, it's time for you to move on. You need to get yourself out. And like, didn't give him no time. Didn't say, well, you got 6 months and then you got to get out. It was basically like 12:01. So what you going to do? What? So obviously this is happening more so than not. But this woman is leaving out the signs that he was into her and not her kids.
Well, first of all, there are signs. Yeah. And you must be an idiot not to be able to read the signs.
Right.
But even before that, even before the signs that a man is into you but not your children,
Or vice versa. It could be a woman into you and not your and yeah,
Or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Or vice versa. I don't like to get to know people's kids because kids tend to like me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they expect me to be around forever. And then I be like, I can't stand your goddamn dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be all like that with the kids. So I really don't like to meet people's kids because they really do tend to like me and latch on. So I kind of had to learn that. So, but more than that, this woman has children ranging in age 32 to 18. That means she started having children when she was 17, and her youngest baby she had when she was about, what's that, 31?
And then she got with him because she only 49.
And then and then
none of
she
these
got
kids
with him.
is him. They don't have no kids together.
Are his. They don't have the kids. And that's what I'm saying. You have to only go by what's in the letter. There's a lot that she left out. So she clearly was missing the signs, you know. And then in the years that she said, since my children were small, you know, there's a 12-year gap between the youngest and the oldest. So who was small? And what's small to you? 9, 10, you know, or 2, 3? You know what I mean? Like it just is not. It's not adding up to me.
He's been in these kids' lives for a little minute.
Long enough
to build a relationship with them, long enough to not be like, oh, it's Christmas, I ain't going to see them kids. Long enough for that.
And what does it say that all of them moved to another state?
Yeah. So, like I said, it's signs that he's into you and not into
my
the
mom
kids.
And her crazy ass husband.
Right.
Exactly. And the kids is like, yeah, you know what? I'm writing my own ticket. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So some signs that your partner may be into you, and they probably ain't even into you so much, but definitely not your kids. If your partner doesn't talk directly to your children, yeah, they not interested.
Right.
You know what I mean? If the little kids, and people do that too, the little kids be like, hi, what's your name? They be like, hi, you ready?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like get these kids out of here. Yeah, I'm coming to feed you, not your kids.
Exactly. No matter what the age, you know what I mean? If the partner doesn't talk directly to your children, you know, that's a sign that the partner is into you and not your kids. If your partner gives your children gifts, right, that keep you away from them, that's also a sign. You know, like, oh, here's a TV so you can watch TV in your room.
Right. Here's a video game so you can play the game.
Go play. Exactly. Like, here's bats and gloves so you can go to the park and join the little, like, you know,
alone,
get out of here. Just
without
us.
I
don't care what you do.
And the parent obviously is not paying attention because all they see is, oh, he brought little Leroy a gift.
Exactly. If the partner if you go out with your partner all the time or go on vacations with your partner and they never want to bring the kids, now, hello, I don't know what you need. That's a sign and a siren.
Well, what about if the kids, I mean, if y'all going out where, that's tricky. I think that goes with the dating with someone with kids as opposed to being in a relationship with someone with kids. Because if you're dating, you keep telling me the signs. Keep telling me the signs. This is partner. Okay.
This is partner. So you have to be beyond dating.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is definitely must have been happening in this lady who wrote the strawberry.
Oh, no doubt about it.
So another big sign, and this is to me, like first of all, when my children were small, I have 2 children. They have a father. So I'm not looking for anybody to be a father figure to my children, and I'm darn sure not looking for any more children. So if your partner is jealous of your children, like
that's a huge sign. I don't even know how you could miss something like that. Like if a person is jealous, especially of your kids, of anything. First of all, if a person is jealous of anything, run. But even if they're jealous of your kids, do a sprint. Don't do the marathon. Do the sprint.
And also, if you have, if your partner, whether they have children or not, because sometimes they'll have children, and when you're not the custodial parent, they may not be super involved with their kids.
Right.
But if they expect your children to behave a certain way or act like adults, like kids are kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you're with a person who doesn't allow children to be children, you know, they're like,
Like a drill
they're treating
sergeant.
them like they're in the way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're in the way. Kids
Yeah.
are kids. What Katt Williams say? They supposed to like Skittles, bitch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they kids.
Well,
So
he was probably the Strawberry Letter. He was probably a drill sergeant with the children. First of all, he has
them children
in this
left.
little bit of letter that you read, he has all those signs. You got anything
Right.
else?
And if you know for yourself that you don't want to introduce your children to your new partner, if you have any kind of reservations about introducing your children to your partner, then you know that's a sign. That's a sign that he may not be into your kids, because why wouldn't you want to introduce them? Once, I'm not talking about dating.
Okay.
Because I see it all over your face. I'm not talking about dating. I'm talking about if you're with somebody. You know, I know people who have boyfriends, girlfriends, and they have never met their children.
Well, that's goofy.
As hell.
If
But
you
if you're
claim
not,
somebody and give them
happens.
and bring them into your life in a way where you feel like we've mutually had a discussion that we're going to be together, and you got kids and I ain't never met your damn kids, that is, first of all, it's not crazy on the other person's part. Now that's crazy on your damn part. Why would you be with somebody who you felt like, oh, I can't bring them around my kids? Oh, I'm drained.
I'm not saying anybody's crazy. I'm just saying that's a sign.
Fucking crazy. Yeah,
that's a sign that they may be into you, but not your children. They're not into your children. If you have reservations, then they ain't into your children. So, I mean, you got to look for the signs, I guess. I don't know. But I just thought that was crazy.
Some of the signs is staring you right in the damn face. Again, it goes back to what you said. What didn't she put in the letter? This man don't want you to even go visit your kids. You can't even bring the grandkids Elmo down. He just like, no, it's me and you,
no
bitch.
Holidays.
Them kids, you can forget them kids. That is just crazy. Like, he's been giving you those signs all along. But yeah, look deep before you leap, and look for those signs that a person is into you and not into your child. Let's talk about though, because some of those signs, I need to talk about even just dating somebody with kids. Let's talk about dating. Let's talk about the dating part of it before, because you was talking specifically about partners. Now, I'm a person that don't have kids.
Right.
And so I date a lot of men with kids, you know, and everybody it's only about one or two that don't have no kids. So I'm always in this, and I don't want to get to the point. I'm bringing this up because I don't want to get to the point where I'm writing a Strawberry Letter in reverse. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want him going to go be with these kids. You know what I mean? So let's just even talk about like some tips for dating someone with kids. I would say number one is definitely always remember that the kids come first.
They do. Unless you're married to the father and you believe in the sanctity of marriage, because the Bible really puts the marriage before the children. So unless you're married to the other parent of the child or whatever, you do have to know that your children rely on you for life, and they do have to come first. And I mean, that's with the job, dating, anything.
Yeah.
You know, kids come first.
I agree. When I sign up to date someone and I know they have children, I am always aware that, you know, plans can get changed. Things can go left because that person has children. Especially with the type of men that I'm going to be dealing with, because I would never date someone who wasn't into their kids. You know what I'm saying? That's a telltale sign that, like, if me and you do and we go and we have this baby, you ain't gonna be into my damn baby either.
My kids.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's just like a given. But some people don't know that. But yeah, number one, I would say the kids always come first.
But people, I'm sorry, but in dating, you know, a lot of times people make it seem like don't worry about them kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't worried about them kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like that. So you continue in a relationship, and that's how you get to those things where you can't see the signs because the other person seemed like the kids weren't that important and you was all right with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you talk about, oh, you roll with it. So you thinking, oh, she cool. She gonna kick that kid out of 18.
Yeah.
You know, like your
and now you want to
like
go
your
visit
friends,
them for
so that
Christmas.
happens too.
Now, what memo
Exactly.
didn't I get? Because we discussed this. Because I feel like,
Exactly.
again, something was said throughout this whole thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say number 2, the tips about dating someone with kids, know that you won't meet them right off the bat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't introduce me to your kids and we went on 2 dates. And that's just for me. I don't want to be introduced to your kids because I don't know if I'm going to be around for a 3rd date. Like, I don't feel like we might have got to the point where it's like, oh, okay, let's meet the children. You know what I'm saying? And that's to protect me and protect you. If I don't know that I'm going to be around you, I don't want to get involved with something that's that important. And that's just for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think a good time to kind of meet your kids, I think it depends on the way that you vibing with people. I mean, I've read different things that they said 6 months to like meet the kid. I think that depends on the situation and the way that you guys are moving in the dating process, you know, on when it's a good time to date your kids. I mean, to meet your kids. But what do you think as a person with children? When do you think is a good time to introduce the kids in dating?
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
So if you meet my kids early, I don't like you.
My girlfriend that got kids said the same thing.
You friend zone. You definitely friend zone. So if you meet my kids early, I'm like, oh hey, that's Chuck. Oh,
right.
Chuck, y'all. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right. You ain't gonna see Chuck but a couple more times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe a couple more times, and you ain't gonna see me like holding Chuck's hand.
Right.
Chuck picking me up for this. You're not gonna see none of that. When I introduce you, it's gonna be casual. Every time you see me talk about or see me with him, it's gonna be casual.
Right.
If you meet the kids early, it ain't nothing. Now, the thing with my children, my experience is, I was married to their father, and I dated someone after that, and it was a long relationship, and I thought we were going to get married, live the rest of our lives, and that didn't happen. And after that, I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to date anymore. I didn't want to introduce my children to anybody. So just about everybody they met was like, hey, that's Chuck.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
They had no idea it was like a dating type thing or whatever. I don't even think I did either. But but as time went on, and I remember having this conversation with my children that when Jiggy, and Jiggy's my youngest, my son, I told him, because both my children are born in June. So it was like right after the holidays. And I told my children, I said, look, Deja, you're going to be 20. Jiggy's going to be 18. And you guys are grown. This is your home. I will always support you in, whatever you try to do in life or whatever. I said, but when Jiggy turns 18, I'm going to do 2 things. I said, I'm going back to school and I'm going to start dating. Now, the girl, she was happy. She was like, oh, that's nice. You need to date, find somebody, whatever.
We always
Jiggy
like
looked
that.
at me
the
like
sons.
I had, right. Jiggy looked at me like I had 7 necks. And, maybe one day on the podcast, I will tell you what happened when I brought a date home and we were just sitting on the sofa talking. And Jiggy came home. He was out, and Jiggy came home, and what happened? It was Baby G. When he first met Baby G. So it was crazy. And then the second time he came to pick me up for a date, he gonna say, is your son gonna be there?
I don't want no problems, I'm good on that.
I'm
You know
just
what I'm
looking at
saying?
him like, yo, he lived there, like,
Right.
he grew on him and everything, but Jiggy wasn't playing at first. So that's the thing. No, you're not going to meet the children right away, especially if they like you. But it depends on the age, because if your children are grown, like in my case, it really doesn't matter.
Right. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the next thing with dating someone that has children is to know, especially, and I'm thinking we're talking about children that are younger than grown. Always know that the ex is going to be somewhere in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Like the baby mother,
or not,
the baby father is going to be around some kind of way. Now, whether that be like y'all got drama, or whether it be like you co-parent, they going to be around some kind of way. Because you could have a situation where they ain't involved in the kid's life, you arguing back and forth to try to get them involved in the kid's life. And then it could be a situation where they're very active in the kid's life. So know that they're going to be around. You know what I'm saying? And I think a pro tip is to not feel no type of way. Like if you dating somebody and they have children, you can't go into it with the mindset of like, oh, that's his baby mom, he always gonna get back with her. Because if that's the case, don't date people with kids. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you gotta fill that situation out within time, the best that you can. I always see these conversations on the internet, like about people dealing with their child's mother or father. Like when it comes down to holidays, do you buy a gift? What kind of access do you give that person to your life? Do you meet the ex? In when you're dating, and I think yes, you do. After when you realize you're gonna be in a relationship, like I don't need to go on 2 dates and then you be like, this Shireen. Okay.
I don't know if Monty ever met anybody.
Not even the ex that was in your life for a long time, knowing that he was going to be around the children.
I don't think so.
Well, I think that says stuff. I think that says something about the other person too, because if I had kids and I was bringing somebody into my life, or if my ex had we had kids together, and then they were bringing someone into their life that they was like, this is going to be my woman, I want to meet her because I want to know what kind of person is around my child. Not on I want to meet her and I don't want the person around my kid because I want you. No, on some like,
no,
what kind of vibe do I get from the person?
Want you. No. I used to think that until it happened to me. I used to think that way too. Like, oh, I want to meet her because I want to see whatever. But you know what? First of all, if that's who you want to be with, that's your choice. If that's who you want to be with, I don't care. And also, when my children meet her, if my children get a bad vibe, then they ain't got to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to get a bad vibe because I get a bad vibe about him, and I'm going to have a bad vibe about him and everybody he around because he a bad vibe. You know what I mean? But right. I don't care. I don't care what I feel about them. But if my children was like, Mom, I don't want to go over there because that's all they got to say. They only have to finish the sentence, whatever. So it's really how comfortable my children feel. Do they welcome my children? They ain't gonna be hitting on my children, nothing like that. So I don't feel any kind of way towards whoever he's with. I don't care about that. That's just me. Okay. And I thought that I would feel the way you just said, but I didn't. Right. But I didn't.
Well, I don't have kids, so I can't speak to that. I have and it's crazy because I've been in someone's life for a long term and I've never met the person that they had kids with, but it was because she wasn't really in the kid's life, so it really wasn't no need to meet her because she wasn't an active mother. So it's just like the role that he took as a father. We just did. We just did what we did. Right. So, it just was what it was. I think something else to think about when dating people with kids is, are you ready for a ready-made family? Because if you date someone with children, I don't mean like a first date, a second date. I mean like if y'all dating and this is turning into something, do you want to be a step parent? That is something that you should think about very early on when you're dating someone with children, because it's a possibility that could get that way. And if you like my man in the strawberry letter and you just like, yeah, I don't really like these kids, and when them jokers get older, they out of here, you wasn't ready to be a stepdaddy. Because a stepdaddy is for life, just like a daddy is for life. If you with the mother or you with the father, then you with them damn kids.
I agree. And this is what I tell people all the time. Everybody talks about, oh my gosh, I can't wait to grow up and have a family. I want kids and this and that, whatever. People who want children or whatever. They always say that. But nobody ever says, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have a baby. I hope I have a baby with Down syndrome, or I hope I have a baby with autism, or I hope I have a baby with ADHD, or I hope I have a baby that has a physical handicap so I can be a part. Nobody says those kind of things. And when they're your biological children, anything can happen. You can have the perfect child and raise the perfect child and be like the all-American family, and then your kid goes to college and meets somebody who just turned your whole world upside down. And then because they're your child, what are you going to do? Just abandon the child? No.
Right.
So if it's a crapshoot with your biological children, how much more of a crapshoot is it when they're not your biological children? And how much are you willing to accept or hold on to? You know what I mean? Like, how much? There's something, and they say it's a package deal. Are you ready for a ready-made? It's a package deal. My son has autism. And I always thought about that when I was getting divorced. If I ever remarried or something, it's a possibility that my son may need to live with me forever. Thank God he doesn't, but it was a possibility.
Yeah.
And so they need to know that. No, he should not.
Okay.
He can get out. So
that's another subject.
But it's a possibility. And so those are things that have to come up. So yes, you have to ask yourself, am I not just willing to accept a ready-made family, but hey, what if some things go wrong? And you have to think about all the things that it entails. Horrible, tragic things happen. Like, you don't want to wish anything bad on anybody, and I'm not, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of places with, children and adults that have a traumatic brain injury or something. So when you get into that step family, these are all the things that you need to think about with what you want to accept. I'm just the kind of person, I think about all that kind of crap.
Well, like, you have to. I think that you have to. I mean, it is, and I think about it when you first tell me that you got kids. Like, when people tell me, oh, I didn't know they had kids, I'm like, why? Because when I first say, hi, what's your name? And you say James, I say, oh, James, you married? And they say, no. And I say, you got a girlfriend? And they say, no. You got a boyfriend? Oh, how many kids you got? And James told me he got 8 in a possible. I want 8 in a possible in spades. I don't want that in a man when I'm dealing with him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's that. Also, I think that when you're dating a person with kids, you go ahead.
Right. No, go ahead.
No, you said even if you have 3 kids, what?
Even if you have 3 children, if you have like 2 or more baby moms, I'll be like, I'm biased. I'm sorry. I just be like,
Well, I mean,
it's one thing that the parent gonna be around, but now it's gonna be parents around. My goodness gracious! At graduation, we gotta have a whole table for your baby mamas. That's too much. I can't do all that. It's too much.
Listen. I have dated people that had one baby mother, and I've dated people that had multiples. I mean, yeah. I've been lucky, though, to not date nobody with the baby mama drama, really. So I've been very lucky on that end. But I was going to say that I think dating someone with children, you definitely have to have a certain kind of patience. Because if you are a person that don't have kids, and that person has kids, especially if they like a super parent, meaning that like everything they do is about the kids, which, hey, listen, people out there, do you? Take care of them kids. But you can't have the attitude of daddy gotta have a life too, or mama gotta have a life too, and then think that a person that doesn't have kids is supposed to understand every single thing about that. Like, I'm a very patient person because I know what I'm signing up for when a person has children, but some days I want to be like, I don't have no kids. So, you know, you got to be very practice patience when you deal with someone who has children. And lastly, no, go ahead.
No, but a lot of times, because I really dig what you're saying about this one, because a lot of times, first of all, if you have children and you can't date, don't date. So, and I'm not talking about the money, but the time. If you're not really want to put in the time to date and everything, because hey, what you doing? Making breakfast for the kids. You call them the next time. Hey, what you doing? Making lunch for the kids. Hey, what you doing? About to take the kids to the park. Hey, what you doing? Getting the kids ready for bed. What you doing? Like, if you know you got all of that going on with the kids all the time, you really can't date. You know what I mean? Yeah. So don't try to make somebody, you're like, oh, I'm doing this with the kids, but I do want to see you, but the kids. Oh, can I bring the kids over? Can we meet with the kids at the park? You know what I mean? Like, let somebody get to know you too. Like, so people with children, if you can't date because you into your children, because there was a time I couldn't date. I'm learning all about autism and the school system and what the law says about the Individuals with Disability Education Act and suing people. And I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Right. So if you can't date, don't date if you're into the kids. You know, every time I call you, you know, it's something with the kids. Like, come on.
Yeah, with the kids.
So, right.
I know that life. I know that life. Lastly, I want to say this. This is a question that I have for you. I mean, those are just some tips, you know, to think about when you're dating a person with kids. But I wanted to ask you this, just leaving out from this episode. Can bad kids ruin a good relationship?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. First of all, especially when they ain't your kids. Oh, hell no. Everybody got to deal with that bullshit. Are you kidding me? And it's a shame, but yes. And yes, they don't even have to be bad, because what if they are really diagnosed with something that don't be necessarily bad, but it's hard. You know, but baby kids? Where the fuck is baby? Yeah, no.
I think that bad kids can definitely ruin a good relationship when we talk about the respect factor. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I know growing up, my mother had never had men around us like that. But when we got of age, you know, older and later teenage life, and she started dating someone seriously, you know, my brother didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? And like my mom said, you don't have to like them, but you're going to respect them. You know what I'm saying? So I think bad kids can definitely ruin a good relationship when you let them cross the line of the respect factor. You know, you always got to have the respect in there. You don't have to like, but you do have to respect.
Well, I don't think that, you know, first of all, children of a certain age understand the respect factor as much as when you get older.
But when you're young, you need the respect too. Teach your kids respect from the damn door. You should be talking to your kids about respect when their asses is coming out your ass.
But what I'm saying is kids respect, like respect your elders, you know, things like that. But respect when you're a child doesn't understand the difference between respect and bad behavior. They do things for attention, and it may not even be bad, but they do things for attention. You know, like, I'm thirsty. You know what I mean?
That's not bad.
Exactly, but it's attention getting. It's something to take your attention away from the partner. And children know what they're doing. You know, they know what they're doing. So it may not be respectful, but they do shit. Kids can do shit intentionally. Right. You know, and not just little kids, because I'm telling you, when Baby G was in here, Jiggy was like, Jiggy was like, oh no, watch this.
Well, maybe that's why.
But that's a podcast for another day.
Listen, to wrap this all up, maybe that's why the man was like, oh, they 18, these kids getting the hell out of here because they obviously, something is going on in that relationship, and I need another letter to be written to let us know exactly what it is. But listen, we gotta go ahead and get on out of here. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Just giving you some tips on dating people with children. Also, listen to those signs that the V gave us that they're into you and not into your kids. Pay attention to them, and like we said, do the sprint, not the marathon, honey. So we hope you enjoyed this week's show. Remember that you can always follow us on social media. You can follow us at We Did That Shit. It's one word, y'all. We did that shit. Talk to us. Like, subscribe, and comment on the show. And talk to us, leaving us anything that you want to say, comment on any past issues. Are you dating somebody that has kids? And what is your experience like with them? Leave us an email, y'all, at wedidthatshit@gmail.com. Again, it's wedidthatshit@gmail.com. Remember that you can always follow me on social media, Twitter, MyMy13. That's MyMy13, MYMY13.
And I'm at Babiamina. That's BIBBIAMINA.
And don't forget, share the podcast wherever you share, things to people. You can do it on social media. Send somebody a text. Send somebody an email. Make sure that you share the podcast. Like and comment. We'll be here for an all-new episode next week. Monday, we drop a new episode. So be on the lookout for us every Monday.
Remember, he's a good man, something. Be great this week. Do that shit. I love you, Maya.
Love you too.